question of the title Inscription comes from one large research project that deals with the creation of new texts made in the handwriting of the artists from a machine to inscribe these texts. So there's a database that's analyzed and it generates new texts and it inscribes them on the page. So it's physically an inscription. And I remember 3 years ago when I was writing that project up, the idea was that there's the disappearance of the written text, and we write less and less. So there was a literal will to inscribe information. But it's also how codes, art historical codes, technological codes, sociological codes get inscribed within artwork, art practice. So sometimes I turn the camera back on me, like I have this series that is the work studies, and it's really, there's a camera above my hands as I write emails or take part in exchanges on social media or write the text for this exhibition. This motion is analyzed and then abstracted and redrawn in what looks like a 1960s automatic writing. It's funny because it's the kind of subtext that would be there to inform the viewer about the innermost pulses of the artist. So that's another, let's say, a code of reception of art. Normally it's imbued by this aura, and my practice aims to debug these myths a lot. So it's the inscription. Within the idea of inscription, there's the idea of coding and encodings that deal with art history and technology and the figure of the artist somehow. So I put those into play very well, knowing how deeply embedded all these codes are. Also, there's another writing machine of sorts, and it's the Agate Pov project. And that is a static version. It's mobile because there's a motor that enables us in the gallery to see the words, and I'll come back to that. But Agate Pov is a project that is mostly experiential. So it's a workshop-based project, and it's more performative normally, and we have a version in the gallery. That represents the words that participants in the various locales where we've held this workshop, which is starting from the latest one, Sackville, Manizales in Colombia, Cali, and then Tunis and Montreal, where we started last spring in an effort to take part in this empowerment of the student's message, or an alternative message to the one that was conveyed by the main media that had such an important role in the definition of let's say the unfolding of the crisis. Yeah. So that's Agate Pov. It comes from a contraction of Agate Pro, so early 20th century art movement from Russia, in which the artists were colonizing unusual spaces with social messages for the 5-year plan, of course. And POV, which is persistence of vision, so it's an effect that you're going to witness in the gallery, but it's inspired by the Spoke POV by Lee Fried, Lady Ada, who put out this project that went into a bicycle a while back. But so I knew about these and decided to use somewhat tactical media practices to present those texts again. Agate Pov in the gallery space changes a little bit because it is experiential, and we're supposed to have a workshop with participants during the exhibition, people who want to sign up. It should be around the Journée de la Culture on the 25th of September. So there's this aspect, but there's also this idea of, well, if people would like to have one, then the costs will go towards creating more Agate Povs and maybe holding workshops in areas that don't have the funds to support it, because it's very difficult to go in areas where it's a poetical and political voice needs to be heard, but it's difficult to do so because there's just less means to be able to put forth an invention like that. So there's that element, and also the idea that you can partake into that space and you can give more visibility to that project, which is what this gallery is about. So it's kind of this exchange, and this project is about opening channels of communication. So when you write down the street and you hear wow, you know that that you communicated something to someone in an unusual fashion, and it's not ads. It's something that has content, and it's there for people to reflect a little bit on, just like in the gallery space. And it opens up these channels for communications, which was one of the problems with last spring, in which we really stopped talking to one another. So I'm less of an absolutist, and I want to engage people in whatever ways possible.